Welcome back, children. This is lesson number 10, Antarctica, and page number 158. Now let's begin with expeditions to Antarctica. Countries like Norway, Britain, USA, Russia, France, Japan, Chile, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and India have explored Antarctica. They went on to set up observatories in various areas in Antarctica. The USA has its permanent base at McMurdo, while Dakshin Gangotri and Maitri are Indian stations in Antarctica. Dakshin Gangotri, constructed in 1983, submerged in ice. Submerged in ice means it got deep below. It was buried under the ice in 1990-91, after which Maitri was built. So now the present research center's name is Maitri. The Antarctic Treaty was signed in 1959 to last for 30 years. Now, what was the Antarctic Treaty signed? Signed by 12 countries, the treaty permitted scientists to explore and learn about Antarctica with peaceful goals in mind. This meant military forces were not allowed here. Just keep in mind. So, in Antarctic Treaty, 12 countries took part, and under this treaty, scientists were allowed to explore Antarctica, but with peaceful goals in mind. No military forces were allowed here. Disposed radioactive waste was also banned. Many other countries have joined the treaty since. Disposed means whatever the radioactive waste, the waste material should not be thrown in this region. India, along with 6 other countries, have joined Antarctic Treaty. This treaty recognizes Antarctica to be a continent of science that helps mankind understand Earth better. So, Antarctica is supposed to be the place, a research center where the human being would study the Earth better. Study the Earth better means, what does it mean? It means that the human beings would carry the researches and try to understand the Earth better from this place. Therefore, Antarctica is considered to be the continent of science. Right? Signed on December 1, 1959 at Washington, the treaty was put into action 23 June 1961. The salient features of the Antarctic Treaty have been outlined below. Now, what was written in the Antarctic Treaty? Now, these are the points. In the interest of mankind, the continent of Antarctica will only be used for peaceful purposes. First point, no country can stake claim on Antarctica, and continent will not be an issue of international discord. Discord is fight. The argument, internationally, no countries will fight over Antarctica. So, Antarctica is solely only for carrying out the scientific research. Right? It should not become the cause for fight between international countries. The continent shall be recognized for its substantial contributions to scientific knowledge, supported by international cooperation in scientific research and investigation. No military pursuits will be permitted in Antarctica, and nuclear explosions and nuclear waste disposals are banned in Antarctica. All Antarctic research stations, along with ships and aircraft supplying Antarctica, shall be open to inspectors from any treaty nation. Only the inspectors are free to come over here to carry out their inspection. Right? Preserve and conserve the natural resources of Antarctica. So, the people who come to Antarctica should come with peaceful purposes only. This Antarctica is meant for carrying out the researches, and no military forces are allowed to enter this place, and nuclear waste disposals are banned in Antarctica. Clear, children? Now, this is very important. Mark it important. Now, Dr. Kamal Wilku is the first Indian woman to travel to Antarctica and stay in the frozen continent for 16 months. Her spirit of adventure can be gauged from the fact that she was 51 years old when she was selected for the expedition. See, you should have a spirit in you to do such a great thing. You can see Dr. Kamal Wilku in the picture, right? Now, Dakshin Gangotri is now being used as a supply base and transit camp. Maitri station is manned throughout the year for scientific activities. This station is especially designed and built to withstand the extreme climate of Antarctica. So, the Maitri station is all designed and designed in such a way so that people living inside can survive in the extreme climate of Antarctica. Right? Then humid void zone. Humid void zone means the zone where no people can be seen. Antarctica, the southernmost continent and site of the South Pole, is a virtually uninhabited, ice-covered landmass. Due to the axis tilt of the Earth, our polar regions are the ones defined by climate extremities and frigid environments. You know very well, the polar regions usually do not receive the sunlight. Okay, they get little sunlight. The rays are slanting in these regions. The geographical placement of the poles also causes them to receive the least amount of sunlight on the Earth. The harsh environment of the poles is manifested by extreme temperatures. So, you'll find the extreme temperature over here, ice cold, winds and water and landmass made up of heavy glaciations. Daylight hours vary immensely. Depending upon the time of the year, the poles can experience complete darkness or constant light. Okay, we read that it is 24 hours day and 24 hours light. No, that way. Sometimes the poles can experience complete darkness. Okay, or constant light means the light all the time. The Antarctic and Arctic regions are different from one another. Now, you know where is Arctic region? Arctic region is the northern part of the world map, no? So, Antarctica, the north and the south poles are completely different. How? However, both regions are extremely cold and covered with ice. The northern part is also covered with ice. The southern part is also covered with ice. In the Arctic, human settlements vary in culture, numbers and beliefs. Countries such as the US, Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Russia have land which is part of Arctic region, and the communities merge with the environment to create unique societies. Day-to-day life in the Arctic is hard to imagine, as it certainly harbors little resemblance to the common lifestyle of populated, heavily developed and significantly warmer settlements on the Earth. So, there, people lead a different life in these regions. There are no indigenous populations of people on the frozen continent. Today, human habitation exists at a variety of science research stations placed by a number of countries. The freezing weather is an excellent location to study how the body and mind adapts to the cold. Scientists also drill for ice cores, which can provide a climate history of the region over thousands of years. You can see, drilling means just using a drill machine to go deep beneath. Okay, the vast vegetation-free expanse makes an excellent place to search for meteorites. The dark rocks stand out easily on the white backdrop and don't find themselves covered by growing plants. So, other projects include the study of penguins, fish, global warming, glaciology, astronomy, and climatology. Antarctica is a world where humans have not dared venture and set up camp for good. Despite research stations and temporary workers, scientists and explorers, the land has always been void of human settlement. Okay, there's no chance of even a single human being to settle there. However, despite having no permanent human residence, Antarctica is home to vast ecosystem full of life. Along the coast, massive upwellings means upward movement, nutrient-rich water. Okay, contain krill. Krill is full of nutrients, which in turn provides nourishment to small and large species. You'll find these sea creatures there, which in turn provides nourishment to small and large species. Nourishment, it provides food to small and large species. From penguins to the majestic blue whale, the Antarctic Ocean gives and supports life, even in the harshest of environments. It's amazing, no? However, not completely void of human presence. No humans live permanently. Right? No humans live permanently in Antarctica. However, there are about 1,000 to 5,000 people who live through the year at the science station in Antarctica. Only plants and animals that can live in such extreme cold climates. The animals include penguins, seals, nematodes, tardigrades and mites. Plant life includes small grass and shrubs, algae, lichen, fungi and bacteria. Okay, in this picture you have METRI, India's research center in Antarctica. Here you'll find Antarctic krill. This is how it looks, and it is rich in protein and it provides nourishment to all the sea animals. Underline this. What is krill? Krill is a Norwegian word for whale food. More than anything else, krill are the engine that powers the Antarctic ecosystem, that provides nourishment to the ecosystem in Antarctica. Clear? Now, besides the people working at the research station, the only other people to visit this cold continent are tourists. Tourists also come there. Recently, many tourist operators are offering a cruise to Antarctica where one can observe the beautiful ice formation that are considered nature's best creation. Imagine where human beings have reached. Though a visual delight, these tourist expeditions have led to problems such as the garbage left by people. So obviously, wherever the people go, they are the ones who disturb the nature by throwing garbage, like they pollute the nature. And the cause for concern is the fact that limited tourist season coincides with the breeding season for most Antarctic wildlife, with the potential for disturbance. Now, what happens? Now, when the tourists arrive, so I was reading over here. So when tourists arrive in this place, that season is meant for that is the breeding season for most of the animals, most of the wildlife. Therefore, global warming. This is one of the main concern. First is when these people have started coming to this place, people have started polluting the environment over here. They have started throwing the garbage. Second is whenever during the tourist season, that season coincides with the breeding season. That means that at the same time there is the breeding season occurring for various species, and that disturbs them. Global warming is a major concern in Antarctic. Polar regions are particularly sensitive to small rises in annual average temperature. The effect of global warming, you know what is global warming? Global warming is warming up of atmosphere, the excessive warming up of atmosphere. No? So this affects the temperature in Antarctica. The effect of global warming is evident from the thinning of Antarctic ice sheets. Obviously, the ice starts melting and becomes thin. The West Antarctic ice sheet, the west of Antarctic Peninsula, has thinned significantly as a result of warmer temperatures in the surrounding Antarctic Ocean. Because of this changing environment, the changing temperature, there is the change in the temperatures of West Antarctic ice area. Okay. The end result of this is possibility that we have already been committed to a rise in global sea levels by 3 meters. So obviously, when the ice melts, what will happen? The water level will rise up. The reasons for these changes is complex. Different areas react in different ways to changing climate. While it may seem intuitive that warmer temperatures mean less ice in Antarctica and not more, it is explicable in part by the effect of ozone hole that forms annually over Antarctica. So many people have different people have different views. Some of them feel that the warmer temperatures mean that the ice level in Antarctica has become less. Right? The depletion of ozone hole has caused an overall cooling trend on Antarctic continent. This has masked the effects of warming temperatures at a local level, particularly on the large part of East Antarctica and areas away from the peninsula region. Now, what is being done to reduce the effects of global warming? Environmental audits, okay, are now carried out around scientific stations on land and in the sea to assess the impact that the base and its activities is having on the area around it. Any activity is bound to have some degree of disturbance to the environment. Vehicles exhaust, vehicles which let out pollutants, wildlife disturbance, waste of various types being produced, waste of all kinds is returned to the country of origin wherever possible. Right? So, an increasing number of stations are alternative sources like Mawson in Australia, Princess Elizabeth, Belgium, Scott, New Zealand and McMurdo in USA. All have wind-powered electricity generators. These are the research stations. The research station of Australia is Mawson. Okay. Research center of Belgium in Antarctica is Princess Elizabeth. In New Zealand it is Scott. In US it is McMurdo. And in India, what is the name of the Indian Research Center? It is MET3. So all these research centers so mentioned over here have wind-powered electricity generators. By the effect of the wind only, the electricity is produced. The Belgian Prince Elizabeth base is zero emission base that runs entirely on wind and solar energy with a lot of help from very significant insulation. More awareness and education is made available about protecting the environment. So if someone conducting an expedition or research or someone is simply visiting as a tourist, people are now guided by the codes of conduct. So there are some rules and regulations applied on this area also because of too many tourists coming to this place. Actually, in next video, we'll continue with our book exercises.